I'm standing at the foot of the highest waterfall in England. Now, you may think it's a natural feature of the local landscape, but in fact, it's not. It's man-made, but woman-designed. Find out where I am in just a moment. On today's show, I've got a search for the good life on my hands for a couple with self-sufficiency plans, and they appear slightly underwhelmed at first.
How do you feel about this sort of space?
Well, it's adequate, isn't it? It's not big enough. It's functional.
But once again, the allure of the mystery house works its magic. You really are smiling in this property.
Yeah. I can see myself in here, definitely.
Today we're in Devon, and these are the 220-foot-high Canantine Falls. Now, they were created back in 1890 by the third Lady Exmouth. She employed 100 local miners to divert a stream over this natural rock formation to create a rather impressive water feature for her Victorian garden. But this is just one of the many spectacular sights that this gorgeous county has to offer. Devon is the fourth largest county in England and lies between Somerset and Cornwall. North Devon extends from Exmoor National Park to the edge of Dartmoor, and one of its major centres is the busy market town of Tiverton. Situated on two rivers, the Lowman and the Exe, its growth and prosperity in the 16th and 17th centuries were due to the wool trade. Devon is also home to the highest cliff in southern Britain, the Great Hangman, near Combe Martin Bay, which stands over 800 feet high. Much of this coastline and landscape is nationally protected as an area of outstanding natural beauty and attracts many of the 4.8 million visitors a year, bringing in almost £500 million to the local economy. Despite a gradual rise in sales, house prices here in Devon, like much of the UK, are continuing to fall. Latest figures put the average detached Devon house at just under £292,000. Now, while that is £6,000 less than at the start of the year, it's still 14% more than the national average. So if you're interested in what's currently on the market here in Devon, take a look at these properties. For a shade under £300,000, you could be living in this two-bedroom, Grade 2 listed thatched cottage in Drewstainton. It features an inglenook fireplace in the dual aspect sitting room and exposed beams in the bedrooms. There's also a charming cottage garden outside. You'd need £450,000 to buy this four-bedroom thatched cottage in Oakhampton. Dating back to the 18th century, it has stunning ceiling timbers in the reception rooms, a cosy inglenook fireplace in the lounge, and a lovely country kitchen with feature fireplace. And if you can stretch to £850,000, you could opt for this four-bedroom thatched house in Yarkham, which dates back to 1885. The drawing room has exposed timber uprights and a bath stone fireplace, while in the kitchen there are oak work surfaces and limestone flooring. Outside, it offers glorious views of the Blackdown Hills. Three super properties there, and we've got three more fabulous houses lined up for today's hopeful couple, including, as ever, the mystery house. So let's go meet them, shall we? Peter, a former accountant who retired early due to a life-changing illness, and his wife Judy, who works in healthcare management, currently live near Reading in Berkshire. But with their two children at university and Judy looking to stop working in the near future, they feel now is the perfect time to consider a change of pace with a new life in the country.
I feel that we need to go now before I'm 60, and it's much easier to move around to make a fresh start at this age.
I had to retire early because I had a stroke about 4 years ago. I tried working for a local firm of accountants after that to see how it was, and I discovered I couldn't do the things I wanted to do the way I used to be able to do them.
It will be a lifestyle change, really, because I have had a long-term dream of being self-sufficient. And for me, this will involve keeping goats, and this garden isn't big enough for it.
While they're aiming for a slower lifestyle, Judy is certainly going to be keeping herself busy.
I'd like to grow vegetables for the local market as well as for home consumption, and make goat's cheese, hopefully for an outlet. Breed chickens, pure breeds, so that that would be a source of income, and expand my bee population so that I can sell local honey.
Judy's the green fingers. I'm just the hired help in the garden. I mow the lawn and things like that.
So having somewhere to sell Judy's homemade produce will be an important consideration in the move, and they think the West Country is the perfect spot.
We've been to Tiverton and East Devon, and the people there are lovely. You know, it's got a lovely atmosphere. There's a ready market, you know, for produce and stuff. So I think that we're looking around there.
They've seen 10 properties so far in their own house search, but none have quite matched their wish list.
Our ideal house would be 3 or 4 bedrooms with 2 bathrooms, nice light airy rooms that we have now, and an annex for an elderly relative, or to sublet before that becomes necessary.
To supplement our pensions.
We wouldn't really like to have a thatched property because of the fire risk, insurance or whatever. We also don't want to be low-lying so that we could be flooded.
And you don't want to have it detached.
And we don't really want
Because you never know what your neighbour's going to be like.
Yeah.
Our buyers are selling their house near Reading to fund the move and have a very definite idea of their finances.
Our maximum budget is £500,000.
Goats, chickens, bees and homegrown fruit and veg. It really does sound like Peter and Judy are after a slice of the good life, and who can blame them? But although £500,000 is a lot of money, will it get them everything that they're after? A 3 or 4 bedroom detached house, a minimum of 1.5 acres, and that all-important annex? Well, we'll just have to wait and see. Peter and Judy would like us to find them their forever home within a 15-mile radius of the Devon town of Tiverton. We've got some fantastic houses in store for our couple, and as usual, I'll be asking them to guess the price of each before I reveal it. The final choice is our mystery house, which I think could really give them something to ponder. This is going to be quite a move.
It is. It's a long way from Berkshire.
So what's drawn you to the county?
Well, I want to rear goats. I also grow lots of things, so you know, it's a better growing climate, I think.
So what are we looking for? What are the key elements of this search?
We want a nice house with at least 3 bedrooms, with perhaps an annex so that we could... well, Peter's mother's not getting any younger.
She's in her mid-80s.
So she could come down when she's ready, but until that time we probably could rent it out to, you know, holiday makers or something like that.
Supplement the pension.
And between 2 and 5 acres of land, and a maximum of 5 because I couldn't manage any more.
Oh, I've got a challenge.
Well...
Certainly make you work for your money.
There's plenty to look for there. We have managed to find you some good properties. I'm excited about showing them to you.
Excellent.
And I think we should get ahead while the weather's on our side. Shall we
Very
go?
good. Yep.
For a sizable £500,000, Judy and Peter's home for their good life in the country needs to have 3 or 4 bedrooms for the children to stay, at least 1.5 acres of land for veg and animals, some outbuildings for the goats, and an annex for Peter's mum, or a possible holiday let. We've travelled 14 miles northwest of Tiverton to the village of Bishop's Nympton, the community of around 900 people. Its 15th century church is a local landmark, and it has all the day-to-day essentials, such as a post office and community shop run from the village hall, as well as a lively local pub. House number 1 was originally a blacksmith's cottage and was extended around 12 years ago. Well, here we are, the first property. First impressions.
Good.
It looks nice.
Yes, it does look nice.
Looks pretty substantial.
It does,
I think.
yes.
Well, the house, I think, is probably going to be more your domain. You're probably more interested in how much land it comes with.
I'm interested in the orchard.
Yes, the orchard, the trees.
Her priority is the goats.
Priority is the goats here. Your priority is the house. So shall we have a look inside?
Okay.
Yes,
Come on. So, with the house possibly playing second fiddle to the garden for Judy, I hope that Peter will be voicing his appreciation of the inside of this lovely property. Right, coming through. So here we are in the older part of this property. It dates all the way back to the 16th century, so lots of history. It has got that cottagey feel about it, hasn't it?
Certainly has.
Which means there's lots of lovely features. You've got the beams,
Yeah.
the huge inglenook fireplace there.
It's not too low a ceiling either.
Well, our son would have a problem with this.
How tall is he?
6'4".
You have a problem most places, to be honest.
He would definitely be hitting his head on the beams, but yeah, it feels cosy. You know, the first room. It does. Yes.
What are your thoughts, Peter?
It's a nice trauma. The decor isn't the way we do it, but everyone's got their own ideas what they want to live with.
It's quite nice to move into a property and
course.
put your own
Or
mark
stamp on it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sure that with very little effort, they could give this house the feel they're after. But our next room shouldn't require any work. Now, a slightly more modern take in this room. This is the kitchen, only redone a couple of years ago. How do you feel about this sort of space?
Well, it's adequate, isn't it?
I don't think it's particularly what style we go for, but
It's not enough workspace for me.
Well, what you do have here is extra space behind there. You've got a big utility room with more space. The room we came through to get here had a little, it was another kind of extra space which you could use. They're using it as a sort of breakfast room.
Yes.
So there is opportunities
Yes.
if that's what you need.
Yes.
Well, they don't appear convinced by the charm of this property, but the light and spacious second reception room in the newer part of the house could just be the one to change all that. So the second reception room is in the extension, the extended part of the property. Slightly bigger, big enough for your son.
Big enough for the dining room table, more important.
Get your priorities right, absolutely. You need a big dining room table. How big?
About 10 foot normally, so
So this could be the house where you're having your family Christmases. from
could
now
be.
on. That's what I like to hear. Now let's see if Judy can picture her family in the 4 potential bedrooms. Upstairs, there are 2 bright and reasonably sized doubles, which could suit their children on their university holidays. But we're heading to the main bedroom via a short detour. So, this space could be one of the bedrooms. Currently, it's a bit of a study, but if you've got lots of guests. Bathroom, family bathroom, which you can see is Jack and Jill. So, an entrance from both sides, leading through into what's probably the biggest of the 4 bedrooms.
Okay.
What do you think of the size?
It's not big enough.
it's
Not big enough.
If it's the biggest of the bedrooms, if our bed went on there,
It would take up all the space.
it would come to here. There'd be no space to get in the other side.
That's a big bed, Judy.
It's a king
2
size.
singles
It's a king
together.
size.
You know, it's an extra king size. I think
Extra
they
king
call
size.
it.
I'm not sure
Yes.
how you're feeling in this house at the moment.
Jury's out.
Jury's out for
Jury's
you.
out at the moment. I mean,
Let's go outside, because I'm determined to win you over on this one. I think you will like the outside space,
Okay.
Judy, OK? Follow me back down here. If anything can win Judy's heart, I think it's this garden. With 1.5 acres of land, it's easily big enough for her to grow her veg in this massive greenhouse. There's also a range of outbuildings, including a garage, which could be converted into an annex, as well as an old stable and hayloft where Judy could set up a dairy for her goats. Now, Judy, I'm sensing you are overawed by the house, but you've got to love this garden.
it's good. There's a lot. Chickens,
That was a chicken run.
polytunnel,
That's right.
greenhouse, vegetable garden, raised beds.
Your imagination's on fire now. This is you in your element, isn't it?
Peter on a tractor, mowing the lawn.
It's even found a role for you, Peter. So let's guess the price. Who should we start with? Peter.
I'm going to go for 450,000.
Okay.
I'd say 465.
Okay. Well, Peter, you're actually very good at this, aren't you? This is on the
No.
market at £450,000. You are right. So it's below your budget. You have some money left over to
Yes.
make some space for the goats or to redecorate or anything you want to do. So why don't you have a little wander around, look at the outbuildings, look at the garage, and we'll catch up later on.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
So at £450,000, this property delivers handsomely on nearly all their requirements. It has cosy reception rooms, 4 bedrooms, a garage with conversion potential, outbuildings for the goats, and 1.5 acres of land for Judy's vegetable growing and animal adventures.
First impressions were it was interesting. I'd obviously want to know a lot more about it, but it didn't put me off. It's a possibility.
It's a question of space at the moment that, you know, if you're expecting children to come back at regular intervals, there isn't enough space.
It is beautiful out here, Judy. I'm in love with the garden. And you've had a bit more time in the house, haven't you? But we've got more properties to see.
Right.
Shall we keep going?
Yeah.
Yes.
Shall we? Yes.
The Exmoor pony has inhabited the moorland here since the Ice Age and is the oldest British breed of its kind. As it's so rare, with only around 1,000 left worldwide, the Exmoor National Park Authority has established 2 herds to ensure it remains in its natural environment. The landscape in North Devon also lends itself to the grazing of farm animals, and as Judy is keen to have goats, we've arranged for her and Peter to visit Leslie Pryor's goat farm on the edge of the national park. There are over 300 breeds worldwide, but Leslie farms just one, a herd of 200 cashmere goats. Their wool is among the best in the world, and her animals provide some of the finest fleeces for tailors on the renowned Savile Row. As Judy is keen to get hands-on, Leslie is about to run through the basics.
Have you ever handled goats?
I have some, but any tips would be gratefully received, please.
Right. I can show you the basics of healthcare,
Yes.
how to look at and see whether your goat is healthy.
That's great.
And then also perhaps we can do some foot trimming if you'd
Oh,
like.
that would be lovely. Thank you
Good,
very much.
okay, right.
It's always advisable to buy your goats from a local breeder with a good reputation and one registered with the British Goat Society.
If you want to check over your goat and make sure she's healthy, one of the first things you can do is just check her lower eyelid and see if it's nice and pink, which means she's not anemic, means she probably hasn't got a big worm burden. The other way to check that is to check the lower gum to make sure that that's quite pink. And that also allows you to look at her teeth. They only have teeth on the lower jaw, no teeth on the upper jaw.
As a rule of thumb, it's around 6 goats and their kids to each acre of land. You should always provide them with shelter, and their fencing needs to have a strong bottom, as they have a tendency to try to get under it. Luckily, these ones aren't going anywhere until they've had a manicure.
And we have to trim off any extra nail that's overgrown.
It's just there, isn't it?
Just here, there's a little bit, yep, like that. And then we also trim a little bit of the sole. This is the bottom piece of the foot, just to make sure that the goat is standing level. And that's pretty reasonable now, so we put it back down and make sure she's standing level. Right, okay, if I give you the trimmers and I take the goat. Okay,
So this is what I find difficult. Is that
bend the toe up. Bend
That's
the toe.
it.
That's it.
okay?
That's
So we
it.
get underneath.
That's it.
Okay.
There's a knack to it,
Yeah, I'm sure there is.
and you will get there. Well done. Excellent. That side's okay, I think.
Yeah, doesn't
That's
look
fine.
like, and it looks like it's flat.
It does. Well done.
Can you assess?
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Leslie. I've learned a lot this
Oh,
morning.
well done. And you did splendidly. I think if you do keep goats, you'll do very, very well with them.
Thank you.
So, armed with some helpful hints, it's time for Judy and Peter to say goodbye to their new 4-legged friends and get back to their house search. We've travelled 7 miles southwest of Tiverton to the large village of Cheriton Fitzpaine, set in unspoilt countryside. The village's name derives from the Old English of Cheriton, meaning village with a church, while the Fitzpaines were the parish landholders in the 13th century. It has a post office and shop for those day-to-day essentials, and 2 pubs, both of which have been serving the locals for over 150 years. House number 2 dates back to the 16th century and was once the local bakery.
Here we are, property number 2 for you. With this property, you also get an annex. So you've got 2 properties to look at and some land. Okay. What are your first thoughts?
Well, the house, it looks like it's in 2 parts.
That's right.
But I see something over there that I quite like.
Why am I even asking you about the house, Judy? I don't know what I'm thinking. Yes, let's just turn this way and look at the land. You're looking at the stables over there.
I personally don't want to live in a loose box.
You don't want to live in the stables. So I'll ask you, Peter, what do you think of the property?
Well, it's interesting, but obviously, this first impressions, I'm intrigued.
You're finding it hard to work out this property, I should imagine.
That's right.
Looking at it from here, it's like, where's the front door? How does this work?
How does it all go together?
Exactly.
What belongs to what?
Yeah. As I said, you have got 2 properties. You've got the annex and you've got the main house. So I think the best way to answer your questions is to get inside and have a look.
That's a good idea.
There's a lot more than meets the eye to this property, and I hope they'll find the use of the space impressive. We're going to start by having a look at what used to be the old conservatory, but now has a more practical purpose.
Right, straight through. This is the door into the main property and it brings you through into the kitchen. Which, well, tell me what you think about the kitchen.
It's functional.
I've never come across it anywhere else.
It is a little different, isn't it? And you can see, actually, this was the conservatory and they've decided to use it as the kitchen. And I think it goes to show that this house is a very versatile house. You can make it work for you, and I think that's something you should bear in mind as we look through.
So while the kitchen is bright and functional, there's a contrast in styles with the first reception room.
There's lots of character in the main living room, beams included. I think you're okay there, Peter.
I'm just about, but our son will definitely hit his head.
He'd have to be careful. Hopefully he'd duck rather than hit his head. Yes. And then he'd get to sit and look at this.
Yes, lovely. Lovely
Bit
feature
of bread oven
fireplace
there, which in an old bakery is very fitting.
Exactly.
What do you think of it then? Do you like the character?
Yes, so far, yes. I do.
Yes, I do.
Nice big room, you know, we're used to more space, so...
Just through that door, you've got a utility and a downstairs bathroom.
Okay.
Through there is the original kitchen, which is now being used as a dining room, second reception, and tucked behind that is another room, which is a snug. Well, I'm definitely feeling better vibes from you in this house.
Yes.
Bigger smiles, a little bit more comfortable here.
Yes, I think so.
I'm pleased to get a positive reaction from Peter, who'll be spending most of his time inside while Judy tends to her goats. Let's see if we can keep up the momentum upstairs. There are 4 good-sized double bedrooms in total, so plenty of space for the children when they come to stay. And they all have access to a shower room, as well as a spacious family bathroom with wooden flooring. But it's time to check out the master bedroom. Will it be large enough for Judy and Peter's supersized bed?
So the 4th of the 4 bedrooms up here.
Yep.
As you can see, it's got a good-sized double bed in it. However, I think this room could probably fit your king size if you placed it this way. And then, of course, you'd be looking out at the view. So what do you think about the character of this property?
I think it's charming. It's got the charm of an old place, an older property. The winky-wonky walls.
All a bit squiff.
Yes.
You have to remember this house comes with almost a second property, the annex. And this time it's fully decked out already. So let's have a look at that and then we can reconsider.
Great.
OK, follow me.
I'm glad that Judy can see the appeal of the main house, but I think she and Peter will be astounded by the beautiful annex, which is all ready to go as a really fabulous holiday let or granny flat.
I absolutely love this annex. I think it's so cosy and I love the view.
It's wonderful, isn't it? I agree with you.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I do as well.
It's got everything you need. There are 2 bedrooms upstairs, plus you've got the family bathroom. You've got living space. Beautiful.
Yes, that's lovely.
So this could work quite well for you.
It could. It could indeed.
Well, that's a big tick.
Which just leaves those all-important goats to sort out. And there's everything Judy might need in the 2 acres of land outside. Aside from a perfect spot for growing vegetables, there's a range of outbuildings, including stables, which could house her new herd. And there's even an expanse of land for them to graze on. I think the most important thing for you, Judy, would be this area behind us.
That's very interesting.
I think perfect for the goats.
Yes.
I could clear that for you.
Yep.
So, what are your thoughts on how much this would cost you?
$4.25.
Okay.
Well, I think because of the extra land, I would probably go for 465.
Okay, so nearer the top of your budget.
Yes.
Right. This property is on the market at $499,950.
Oh, really?
And I think you need to really consider it. For your budget and for your wish list, this could be the one.
Certainly could.
Food for thought.
Yes.
Why don't you have a little wander around, maybe get out of the rain.
Thank you.
and take all of that in. Seriously consider
Good.
it, because I think you get a lot
Good.
for your money here.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
All right,
Thank
I'll see you later on.
All right then.
Thank you.
There you go. I do think they have to take serious consideration about what they can get for their money. Yes, they might have to do some work to make it their own, but by golly, they get a lot of property and a lot of land for their money. So, right at the top end of their budget, at a whisker under £500,000, this wonderfully versatile property delivers on absolutely everything they asked for. It has bright reception rooms for Peter to relax in, 4 bedrooms in the main house, a lovely 2-bed annex, outbuildings for the goats, and close to 2 acres of land for Judy's vegetable plot and animal husbandry.
I'm not sure whether we can live here. The annex I love. The garden I think is suitable, but Judy's a better judge of that. The main house would require a bit of thought what to do, and at the moment I'm not quite sure because it's very early days.
I think we could be happy living here. You make a home where you want a home to be, so yes, of course we could.
Oh, it's clearing up a little.
Oh,
I
good.
don't know if your minds are any clearer after those 2 properties today, but let's have some time when you can sit down and think about it all.
Okay.
As dusk falls over Devon's lush countryside, it marks the end of our first day's property search. Peter and Judy are planning a move from near Reading in Berkshire to a life of self-sufficiency in the Devonshire countryside. Goats, chickens and veg are all high on the agenda. So far, they've proved tricky customers with our first 2 properties, but coming up, the mystery house is a mouth-watering prospect. It comes with 2.5 acres of paddock.
Yum.
All over there.
Yum.
And I help out with the harvest at Devon's oldest vineyard.
Good bunch, good bunch.
Well, the weather's brightened up today, and I'm hoping for a much more cheerful reaction from Peter and Judy to our mystery house. Yesterday, I think we did deliver everything they were looking for, but I just wasn't getting that emotional reaction from them to the properties. So with the mystery house, as ever, we're going to show them something they would never have looked at without us. And I'm hoping that that's what's going to get the reaction we're looking for. We've travelled around 30 miles southwest of Tiverton, almost double the distance they wanted to be from the town, to the charming village of Belston, on the northern edge of the Dartmoor National Park. Amenities are somewhat limited, with just a post box and telephone box and no local shop. However, it is blessed with a popular free house inn that serves food, a church that dates back to the 15th century, and some Grade 2 listed stone stocks, last used for punishment in the 1800s. Our mystery house dates back to the 16th century and gives them 2 properties for the price of 1. It's our last chance to impress them, so let's see if our thatch gamble pays off. Right, mystery property. Always something that I'm pretty sure you would never have looked at on your own. And I'm guessing you would never have wanted to see this.
I think you're pretty right there.
The thatch.
Yeah.
Yes, it is a thatched farmhouse. But that is the only thing I think you'll have to compromise on with this property. So bear that in mind, OK?
We will. Yes, we will.
Yes?
OK.
On the upside, comes with 2.5 acres of paddock.
Yum. Yum.
On top of the 2.5 acres of paddock just for you, you get a gorgeous garden.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Right, in
The
the
windows
spirit.
look good. Yeah.
Yes. Good, you like the windows. I know light's important, and I
Yes.
think you'll be impressed with the amount of light you get in here.
Yes.
Come on.
I look forward to it.
So far, so good. And once inside this fantastic property, I think they'll be excited by the potential it offers. It's divided into 2 self-contained houses, which both lead off this entrance.
So we've got a very grand hallway to come through, and this is your first reception room.
Lovely.
Nice.
Intake of
lovely.
breath there.
Yeah, very nice.
Quite a high ceiling as well, which is good.
Very nice indeed.
You like it, don't you?
I do. Smile in my eyes.
I know. This is what I was looking for, a bit of a
Yeah.
reaction. Look at that fireplace.
Oh,
That's a
too
lovely
good.
statement, isn't it?
Working.
It can be opened up. They're not using it as a working fireplace, but yes. So you like?
So far, yeah.
So far,
I
so
do.
good. Well, there's a lot to see, so we won't dwell too long here. There's another reception room here, equally a good size.
Yes.
Another fireplace through there, but I want to show you the kitchen on this side.
Okay.
So there you go. The kitchen, although smaller than you might like.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
you
Is it
don't need
adequate for you?
Yeah, sure. Sure.
What do you think, Peter?
It's smaller, but I'm not the cook.
Okay.
So I defer to her.
Well, what you also get, I mean, there's some space behind here, so it goes down. There's some storage areas. You can make a pantry, so you could create enough work surface. I think lots of space to storage. And remember, this is only one side of a two-sided
I'm
house.
just thinking about that.
You really are smiling in this
Yes,
property.
yeah.
How's it making you feel,
I can see myself in here, definitely.
Peter?
Yes, I like it.
Great, so it looks like we're on to a winner with this house. But we're heading upstairs, which on this side of the property has 2 very good-sized double bedrooms with lovely low windows. Both of them also have ensuite bathrooms, a real bonus. But I'm going to show Peter and Judy where they could be resting their heads.
So come on through. What do you think?
Nice size room. Will certainly fit our bed.
What, ensuite, is it? That's through
Just
there.
through here, yes. So it's a good-sized bathroom as
Very
well.
nice. Yes.
And that lovely view and a great deep window. How would this be if this is where you were living, from what you've seen?
Fine. Absolutely. Yeah.
So positive.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyway.
see, one of the options, and I think this house will make sense once you've seen it all, so it's a bit unfair to describe it now, but because they're both en suite, if you wanted to, thinking about pensions and money making, this could perhaps be the holiday let side, or this could be a B&B, because obviously you've got the bathrooms all ready to go.
Yes.
So it's something to keep in the
Bear
back of
in
your
mind.
mind as we go and have a look at the other side of the property.
Okay.
So our buyers are pretty tight-lipped, but when they do express themselves about what this house has to offer, they seem very taken with it. And I think when they see the rest, they'll be equally delighted.
Yes.
And the stairs.
Second half of this property. Another good-sized reception room.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, and lots of light. So just to give you the lay of the land with this one, through that door there's a door leading to the outside. There's a downstairs cloakroom. Over here we've got a really generous sized study. Through here we have what is a sort of makeshift kitchen, but it's smaller. And upstairs you have 2 good-sized double bedrooms, a family bathroom and a single bedroom. But I did say this house had lots of bonuses.
It certainly does.
While the bonuses continue outside, with one area of the garden containing an old barn, which, with the right planning consent, could be just right for renovation, either as a granny flat or as a space for those goats. And then, of course, there are the extensive grounds, which should allow enough peace and quiet for Peter and room for Judy's veg.
So plenty of garden space, but you do get 2.5 acres. A separate entrance there, and it wraps its way all the way around the property. So, all of that, but it does come at a price. I'm going to start with you, Peter. How much do you think you have to pay for this to become yours?
£500,000.
500.
Yes.
Okay. Judy?
I'd say less than that. I'd say about 425.
Why so much lower?
Because thatch properties traditionally, when I've done search, thatch properties generally are lower. So I'm hoping it's that because it will give some money.
Is that a
left over.
wish? Well, you were closer, Judy, so well done. It's actually on the market at £450,000. So you have a little think about it, because after that, we'll have to have a serious sit down and see what you're going to do next.
Thank you very much.
OK?
Well within their budget at £450,000, this property seems to be a contender. It has multiple reception rooms, 5 bedrooms, 2 with an ensuite, giving them the potential for holiday lets in the future. An old barn which they could convert into a granny flat or use as a shelter for Judy's goats, dependent on the right planning permissions. And over 2 acres of land.
I do think Peter likes the house. I think he likes it, possibly not as much as I do, but he's definitely open. You know, it's definitely something he wouldn't discount.
I think this is a good mystery house because of the 3 houses we've seen. This is the only one I think we consider at all. It's got quite a lot of space. It would leave us some money to do things, but it's certainly a distinct possibility.
Hello, did you enjoy that?
We did.
Yeah, plenty of time to explore. Have you seen enough?
We have. Thank you.
Yeah, well, you've certainly seen all the properties that we've got to show you, so let's go and sit down.
Here in the heart of mid-Devon, locally produced wine has been a slow-growing industry since the 1970s. But the last 10 years has seen an explosion in business, and there are currently 418 commercial vineyards in England and Wales. In the Exe-Valley, you'll find the oldest vineyard in Devon, and I've come here to join owner Roger White and his team on the very last grape harvest of the season.
I understand this is the oldest vineyard in Devon, but how long have you been
We've been here
working
since '94, but it was planted in '76, so this is the 36th year of crops.
Now, what do some of the other more famous wine regions think of English wine?
They're very interested, they're very pleased that we are growing grapes because it's a little sign to them that we're becoming more civilised in their eyes. And I have actually had an inquiry from a Loire grower who wanted to do a joint venture with me.
Well, we're at the end of the season now, aren't we? So I believe this is the last pick.
I think we're going to have something like 7 to 8 tonnes, and my target is 15 tonnes, so we haven't done that badly. But these are the Dornfelder, the rosé grapes,
Okay.
so they look pretty good to me.
OK, let's do it.
OK.
The Devon climate, with its warm summers and generally mild winters, is similar to the French wine-growing Loire Valley area, so it's perfect for a healthy harvest.
Right, so I've got my bucket, got my snippers.
Good.
What's the technique?
OK, it's quite simple really. Cradle the bunch in your hand, in your palm, cut the stem, not the berries, with your sharp snippers, and don't cut your fingers at the same time.
Sounds simple enough. Here we go.
Good. Good,
That's a
good
good
bunch,
bunch, isn't
good bunch. 1 bucket, 5 bottles of wine.
1 bucket, 5 bottles. That's not bad, is it? I am pleased with that.
Well done.
Each year, an average of around 2 million bottles of wine are produced in the UK, with the greatest number of hectares devoted to the popular varieties of Pinot Noir and Chardonnay. Once the grapes are picked, the next stage is the pressing, which is being done by Roger's wife, Juliet.
So this process here, we seem to be just crushing them.
That's all we're doing. We're just bursting the berries so that when the press actually operates, the juice comes out quite easily. This helps the juice come out.
Can we have a look at the actual presser and how we turn it from the grapes into this liquid?
OK, so we just flatten this out a little bit. Then we put a mat in next. There we are. And then we'll put some more grapes in from the bucket.
What's the purpose of the mats in between?
It just helps the juice come out.
The juice is pressed purely by the pressure of the layer of mats and the added weight of the fruit in the traditional Italian technique.
Well, it looks like we're doing quite well there already, but this is already pressing.
Yep.
What I think I need to do is have a taste of this wine.
Yeah, sure.
To turn grape juice into wine takes at least 6 weeks of fermentation, but the vintage that's going to be sold from this batch won't be ready for 6 months.
There we go.
Right.
Starting
This
to go
is-
pink already.
It is, isn't it? This is just the pure grape juice.
Pure grape juice.
That's actually very nice.
Could sell it just like this. Since the mid-90s, this vineyard has grown from under 2 acres to over 7.5 acres. An average of 20,000 bottles of wine each year are produced here, with around 95% of them being sold locally. With West Country Vineyards sparkling at this year's prestigious Winemaker of the Year competition, it seems this region's wine is well on the way to becoming an industry that can take on the world's best. Well, I'm now convinced that you do not need to move to the Loire Valley if you're looking for countryside living and a good glass of wine at the same time. But are any of our properties the right vintage for Peter and Judy to make the move to Devon? Let's find out. Now we've been to 3 properties and it's time to find out what you've decided to do. So let's recap. We started with the old blacksmith's cottage.
Well, I loved the situation in the garden. So outside was cool. But inside, we felt, both of us, that we'd be a little bit hemmed in.
I think it's probably, I'm used to having more space. It's a little bit claustrophobic. Not a very nice house, but not really exactly my sort of house.
So house number 2 was an old bakery. What were your first impressions?
And the annex was lovely. It was really a nice space, wasn't it?
It was,
Pete?
very nice.
And the main house, it confused us. So not really a consideration.
So we left there, end of day 1, and I was a little bit worried. And we had the mystery house to come. And one thing I knew you didn't like was thatched roofs. And that's what we took you to see. So what did you think when I said, this is it?
The house looks very interesting. It looks lovely. And inside, we were really taken with, one part of the house, the 2 reception rooms, nice and big, lots of light.
What about you, Peter? Have we touched your heartstrings?
The rest of the house was fine, but not as gripping as those 2 rooms.
And having had some time to think, where are you now? If an offer is made on your property tomorrow, would you buy the mystery house?
Possibly.
I think that's, yes.
Possibly.
Oh, you two. You are hard to pin down, which concerns me, because will you actually make the move? This has been a long-held dream of yours, Judy.
We will make the move. We will definitely make the move.
But it's been a pleasure spending the last couple of days trying to help you find the right property for you. And I'm really encouraged that you like the mystery house. So, best of luck with it all. We'll see you soon.
Thank you very much.
We had a real challenge on our hands this week, satisfying the needs of both Peter and Judy. Not only did we have to find the perfect home to keep Peter happy, but enough land to satisfy Judy, the goats, the bees, and the vegetable patch. Now, at one point, I was a little bit worried. And then the mystery house came in and saved the day yet again. So it just goes to show that sometimes when you take a massive gamble, it can pay off. I'll see you next time on Escape to the Country. If you'd like to escape to the country in Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland or England and need our help, please apply online at bbc.co.uk/be on a show.